This is Bishop Bowser with Slow Motion with Bishop Bowser, our podcast, and also we're going live on Facebook. And today we have a pretty good show for you. We're going to be talking about the criminal justice system and how it really trump up charges in case when you're dealing with the issues with black folks, they really, these prosecutors, they're really racist, and the whole system is racist, of course. But the experiences that black folks have to go through this criminal justice system is just horrible. And so one of the things we want to talk about today, I have with me as my guest Russell Smith. He's one of my cousins that live up in Moreno Valley. He grew up in Riverside, and now he lives in Moreno Valley. But he kind of got caught up in that justice system up there in Riverside County. Now Riverside County and San Bernardino County. They have some of the worst prosecutors, and especially when it comes to arrests and filing charges against black people, they have one of the worst systems, and San Diego falls right behind them, right? And so when you look at Southern California on down, you have a horrible, corrupt criminal justice system. At least in LA, they are trying to fix some things, and from the perspective of challenging the sheriff, and they just elected supposedly a progressive prosecutor, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know what a progressive prosecutor is supposed to look like, right? Because the system is racist, and they're tied into that system. But I have Russell Smith with me, and he's up in Moreno Valley. We have him on our screen here through the Zoom, but hopefully all of you all can see him on live right now. So what I want y'all to do, because I want everybody to get this show and hear about it, listen to it, tag somebody, start a watch party, share it with somebody so that you can get folks to come in on and view it. And also let me know how the sound is, because I got my mic in between me and where Russell's going to be, so I hope they can hear it. What'd you say? Can anybody hear it? You might have to go and test out the sound. And hope I know you hear me, but I'm talking about as far as them on Facebook. They hear us on the podcast. But so Russ, I want to start out with, because we want to talk about gang enhancements. We want to talk about, not so much, we can't get into the details about the case of Lil Ed, your son, and the murder charge that's been brought against him, but talk about from the perspective of how they tried to entangle you in that. And then when we was working to get you bailed out, how they kind of messed that up, where we couldn't even get you bailed out of jail on that. And also I want to talk about these prosecutors. We'll look at COVID-19 as far as what you would experience in county jail, because I know it's one thing out here and it's one thing when you're in the jail system. As you know, Sharon, she's up in Folsom with the women's prison up there, and she's dealing with the same thing with COVID-19 and all of that. And so it's really running rapid in the jail system, the prison system, and they're really not protecting our people, right? And folks are dying, people are getting sick. And we most definitely was worried about you in the name of the Lord when you was in there, because we know that they're not protecting folks. But I just want to start so people can get to know who you are, as a person. If you could tell us, your full name, your age, where you live, married or not married, how many children you got, and then we could take it from there.
Yeah, I'm Edward Smith. I live in Moreno Valley, California. I'm married, and I got several children that, stepchildren and children are mine. And I'm like, it's I don't know how to, I guess it's unfair to me what happened to me, because I stayed in jail for 8 months for something I didn't have nothing to do with. Right. So I just would like the public to know everything that was going on with what happened with me too. And it's a lot more people in there that's going through the same thing, because they elevate our bail so high where we cannot bail out because of old crimes. I got old crimes from 1986, and I got one from 1990.
Tell us about those.
They use that against me. Huh?
Tell us about those crimes in 86. You say 86 and 96?
Yeah, 86 was a robbery. Mm-hmm. So they hit me with a strike from that. And then 1990 was, I had attempted murder in 1990. But it was one crime. They broke the one crime, which is illegal, to they broke it down to 3 different crimes, which they weren't supposed to do that, and they put a $1 million bail on me for a crime for aiding and abetting after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm walking down the street and they just arrest me for nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and just throw the crimes on me. But aiding and abetting after the fact is basically, it's like almost, it's supposed to be a felony, but it's almost like a misdemeanor. They carry 16, 2, and 3. They put a gang charge on me, which I'm not in a gang, which made them was able to put $1 million bail on me, and that's how I stayed in jail 8 months.
So
After 8 months. Huh?
Well, one thing I want to ask you, because I want people to, everybody listening and viewing, I want them to understand exactly what's going on, because I know your case and everything, but they don't, and they don't know some of the charges that was trumped up on you. So I know, like, when you said in 1990 you were arrested for attempted murder, can you tell us a little bit about that, because they tried to use that as a gang enhancement, right, when they brought these other charges again. Then we get into the aiding and abetting.
No, they with the case that's going on now, what they arrested me for, they said I aided and abetted a gang.
Right.
Which I guess the gang is my son.
Right.
So I aided and abetted a gang, which is my son. So they was able to put that charge on me, where they elevated the charges where there was no charge there, was able to put 3 strikes on me. And the strikes came from 1986 to 1990, over 30 years old. And 33 years old.
So that's what I'm saying. So talk about that as far as that 86 and 90 case, how they tie that into the present case that you're dealing with.
Well, they're felony cases, so they were able to try to put the felony case on me through them 2 cases, the 3 strikes law.
Right. And how did they?
30 years old. I haven't been in trouble in years.
Right, I know that. And like with them trying to tie, because I know when I read the papers and different things, we're looking online on some stuff, and that your wife had sent me also. I know I saw something on it where it was actually saying you as a gang member.
Yes, I was a gang member.
So where did they get that from?
I was the leader of the gang.
Yeah, where did they get that from, man?
That was the police officer that kept coming to my mom's house and harassing her. So I said something to him, and for me saying something to him, he had a grudge against me, and he still got a grudge against me to this day.
And when was that? When you said something to him?
That ain't fair. That ain't fair to nobody.
Right.
For them to hold grudges, and then what I want to say about.
Go ahead.
They're trying to make I think it's the Republicans or whatever. I don't care what race. What political party you are. They're trying to make it look like we want to disband all police. No, we got to have police. Mm-hmm. We got to have police. But we want to get rid of the bad police.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So whoever's saying get rid of the police departments, I feel that's not what we should do.
Right.
I feel we should get rid of the bad apples in the police departments.
Okay.
And I think once you do that, everything should. I don't think everything would go to normal for Black people, but it should start straightening out.
Right.
Because you got a lot of police that hate Black people.
Right.
So whatever they can do to put you in jail, that's what they're going to do.
Right.
And that's what I found on this case right here, and they're still doing it. The case is still going on. I'm not going to talk about the case, but it's still going on, and that's what they're doing right now.
Right. Right. So you said they had 2 strikes on you from your previous robbery and attempted murder. 86
no, he charged me with 4 strikes.
4.
I ain't even had that many strikes.
Wow.
It was illegal from the beginning.
How did they get 4 strikes? Explain that.
They got 4 strikes where like when you have one case, and if you have you got one case, they broke the case down to their satisfaction to make it look like it was real, but they broke the law there for doing that too, because they're not supposed to do it. If it's one case, one incident, or it's one case.
Right.
They broke the one case down to 3 different strikes.
What? One case to 3 different strikes. And some of the strikes came from your previous charges or convictions that you had before, and they used that against you.
Before 1990 and 1986.
Right. And so with the gang,
and I ain't been in trouble. I ain't been in trouble. I haven't caught a felony or nothing like that since then.
When did you get out of prison the last time from the 1990 case?
95.
Got out in 95. And
1995.
And since 95, no problems with the criminal justice system.
No, none
whatsoever. And all this time, so did they try to go back and look at back then with the what with the shooting? What happened with that? With the attempted murder? What was that about?
It was the attempted murder was with my auntie, my Aunt Mildred, and them were. It was a group of fellas from another town kept coming to her house, shooting it up, and we got involved in that after that.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. So they tried to make us look like we was aggressors when we called the police every night for months, and the Riverside police would not do nothing.
Yeah, and that's the problem, also that a lot of times people face, right? And that's the thing I was sharing with folks not too long ago, is that even when you try to be a law-abiding citizen, you don't get the protection that you need from the police. We're over-policed, but under-protected. We don't feel protected at all. But then when you take matters into your own hand, then all of a sudden they want to file charges against you because all you're trying to do is protect your property and your person. And I know my family and I know my cousins and stuff. And when it comes to family, you ain't gonna mess with family and just think you're gonna do that because they're gonna step in. I was in church. I didn't hear nothing about it back then, but as far as when it was happening, but I heard when y'all got locked up and everything, and so on. And so I clearly understand. We do have to defend family. We can't just let people come by and harm folks that don't have nothing to do with nothing. Our Mildred is, she was an older woman and have nothing to do with that. Whatever the younger cousins were doing and so on. So now let me ask you this. Now, with the case that they've charged you with, so they charged you with 4 felonies. How many felonies did you have?
This one case, just one.
Just one.
They didn't abet.
But they added. Because remember when you was trying to get bailed out, and then when you went to court, they added some. I don't know if they were strikes or whatever it was, but they added where they put your bail up. So what happened with that? Explain that to us.
They added when I went to court. They added strikes for. They said aiding and abetting a gang, which the only person I talked to was my son. He's not a gang by itself. A gang is 3 or more people, and they say anybody can hang around with anybody they want to. This is in the criminal law book. But what they did, they bypassed that criminal law book and just did what they wanted to do and add gang stuff on me.
Right. And so, what was your bail before?
For my son.
What was your before they added on? What was your bail?
And then the bail was $150,000. So I just had to pay $1,500 to $2,000 to bail out. So when I went to court, they added a strike somewhere. They boosted my bail up to $1 million.
Wow, boosted up to $1 million. And so with the aiding and abetting, I know you can't get into details of the case and everything, but how do you feel about that as far as them charging you with aiding and abetting when you had nothing to do with the case? Nothing to do with anything.
I felt I was done real wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it was out of me basically protecting my mom because they kept coming to the house asking her to look at these pictures. And what they didn't know was my mom is blind. She's certified blind.
Uh-huh.
She couldn't look at no pictures. And then you got these men at her door, 4 or 5 or 6 of them at her door. Ma'am, open the door. She said, no.
Uh-huh.
So when I seen them, I told him to leave her alone. He felt offended about that. The police officer felt offended about that. I shouldn't have said nothing to him. A black man stay in your place.
Right. Well,
that's how I felt.
What were they trying to question on Bobby about?
He wanted her to look at pictures of other people who were suspects. I guess my mom don't know none of these people.
Right.
But he wanted her to look at pictures. Ma'am, I know you know this one. I know you know this one. No, my mom don't know nobody. She don't be out. My mom's up in age. She don't be out there hanging out with nobody.
Right.
You could have thrown some pictures of church members. She probably would have known who it was.
And was Lil Ed already locked up, incarcerated for this?
Yeah, he's in there.
Was he in there during that time?
Yeah, he's been there for over a year now.
Okay. So he was already charged when they were going to your mom's house.
Oh, and the killer part is when what they arrested me for was he called me one day on the phone, and they said I aided and abetted because he called me.
And that's while he was out?
Huh?
That's when he, before he got locked up, he called you, or while he was in jail when he called you? You said he called you. When did he call you?
Before I got locked up, he called me, and they had my phone tapped, and what they told everybody, which is illegal, too. Another thing, he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my phone was my son's phone. And he told the judge that my which was not the truth.
Okay. But what I'm trying to say, help me understand.
And I already know that's illegal, and then they can get in trouble for that, but I don't have a good enough lawyer to to help me with anything like this.
You. Yeah. So help me understand this though, Russ, is that you said that they got you Ed and Betting because Lil Ed called you. Where was Lil Ed when he called you? Was he locked up or was he free or what?
No, he was in he's in another state.
Oh, okay. So he was already out, and they were trying to. Yeah. Okay, I got it. So,
they called me.
So because you had some contact with him through phone, and so therefore they said you was aiding and abetting.
Eddie bet him, but he called me.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
How funny is that?
That's crazy. And he was already gone doing his thing.
8 months for that, huh?
He's already gone to doing his thing.
Yeah, he's already gone.
Man. So I mean, what do you want people to know in regards to this, as far as the injustice that you feel that was done to you, and we know that the injustice done to Ed too, and he got to go through the court system for that. But as far as with you being out here, being able to speak for yourself and your family and everything, what do you want people to know about this system?
Oh, this system is real wrong. It's real wrong. I really feel that there's laws that need to be passed, but there are laws that need to be passed about the way the police does stuff, especially in Riverside County. Riverside County has the highest conviction rate. That's because they scare people to taking deals. Their trial rate is real low, like at 45%. They lose in trial, but they got so many people that's scared to take them to trial that they just take the deals they give them. And what they first thing they do is they throw strikes on everybody, especially if you've been in prison before.
Wow.
They throw the strikes on you.
Wow.
The strike system is unfair to, I could say, most minority is unfair, and even some white people, it's unfair to them too. They throw the strikes on you right away.
Wow, that's messed up. So tell us about your experience when you was locked up, because one of the things for sure that I want people to understand is that with this COVID-19 and being in prison, being in jail, and so on, there's no protection there. When they talk about out here, they push you, wear your mask and 6 feet distance and no mass gatherings and all this different type of stuff. But now I talk with Sharon up there. She did say they try to, in some sense, but a lot of times they gathered in these dorms, so they don't have the social distancing. But if something break out, they do lock them all down and stuff. But with you, what was your experience in the jail system and with COVID? And did you feel protected?
No, you're not protected there. They say a lot of stuff to the public. Riverside County, the sheriff of Riverside County was saying a lot of stuff to the public, like the hand sanitizer and the mask. They took us after COVID-19 broke out. It took us 3 months afterwards to start getting masks.
Wow.
But they were telling the public we had masks. We never had them. And then so they lock everybody down right now, so everybody get like maybe an hour out a day. So, it's worse than consolidatory confinement, but you get 1 hour out a day. And then they telling the public that we're separated. Well, we're not. Everybody got a cellie. You're supposed to be separated right there, but they're steadily bringing new people in. When they take us to court, they put everybody in cells. And cells to go to court, it'd be like 15, 20 people. There's no social distancing. On the bus, it'd be like people standing up. They talking about making work. So, they lying to the public for real.
Man. Did you see any folks get sick while you was in there or hear about it?
Oh, a couple of people. Yes, quite a few.
What about the staff in there, sheriffs, deputies, and people like that?
Yeah, there's a couple of Riverside County. Quite a few of them died.
Oh, is that right? The deputies?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, some deputies died. Yeah, in Riverside County. Yeah.
Wow. See, so that's
the jail I was in. Some people died, and they was deputies.
Oh, okay. So while you was in there, and I know like when they moved your bail up to $150,000 to $1 million, it made it difficult to get you bailed out and stuff. And I know that folks were still trying to work to get you. And then all of a sudden I got a surprise call that you were out. So that was good to know, good to hear. But at the same time, what happened? How did you get it reduced? Did they reduce it back down? Tell us what happened.
Yeah, they reduced it back down because we went in and we went in to drop my strikes. So what the judge did after we was shut down for 3 months. I should have been out way before. I got out.
That's right.
September September the 26th.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been out way before that. We was shut down for 3 months.
But no courts or anything.
Went in and
There was no courts going on for 3 months. That's what you're saying. No court hearings.
For 3 whole months. Yeah, 3 whole months with no courts. So I was stuck in there. And then, so they so backed up right now. But then when we finally went to court, and then I had somebody help me that was in jail with me that knew the law real good. So when I put that paperwork in, that made my lawyer try to do something because it made her look bad.
Mm-hmm.
But she put in a thing to strike my strikes. So when it went to the judge looked at my strikes and looked how old it was.
Yeah.
And he said my strikes was way before the 3-strike law came in.
Look at that.
And then when he looked at my case, and he looked at how long I was out without getting in trouble, like over 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Man, yeah.
Without getting in any trouble. So he looked at that, and he dismissed all my strikes. You know what, cousin? He dropped my bail down to $10,000, from $1 million to $10,000.
Wow.
There's something wrong with that.
Awesome. Yeah. That should have been done at the beginning. You should have, number one, you should have never been in jail. But number two, if you did, that should have been $10,000 right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning. I stayed in jail 8 months because my bail was $1 million. I couldn't nobody afford that.
Right. And even during that lockdown, when they would have no court hearings, they could have still let you go. They could have let you go on recognizance. There are a lot of things they could have done, man. But that's how racist the system is, and the way these prosecutors and you have these lawyers that I don't know, they don't seem to be that effective in representing us, right?
What I've been hearing about these lawyers, especially now the way they got it, is like there's a lady, she's a big lawyer out here. She bid it, and she got the attorneys. She got the private attorneys, but they're called state-appointed attorneys, and then they got the public defender still. She bid it for $1,000 a case. How hard are they gonna work for you?
Yeah.
First thing they talk about is a deal.
Mm-hmm.
First thing they got you.
Let's make a deal.
They don't even know what they got you for.
Right. Let's make a deal. And that's one thing that I always try to tell youngsters. When they locked up, I'm like, or try to communicate with them. I go see them or tip to their parents. Say, hey, tell them don't make no deal. As soon as you go to court, they've been locked up a couple of months, and they go in and they make a deal. They'll take a strike or two, and they say, hey, we'll let you go right now, but now you got those strikes against you. Then what happened is when something does happen again, they'll just trump up, try to be hard for you to bail out, and then you're looking at some serious time, if you get convicted of that and so on. So the one charge they have on you now is aiding and abetting for the murder charge.
Aiding and abetting, yes.
Wow. That's crazy, man. It's so easy. All you can do is love your family, care for your family, not thinking about breaking any laws, covering up anything, and you have any connection with anything, they'll try to use that against you to charge you with something like aiding or abetting or conspiracy or and then with these gang enhancements and all of that we're looking at. So they were, what I'm still trying to figure out, and maybe you don't even know yourself, you're still trying to figure it out, is that like when I looked and they had you down as a gang member, I'm trying to figure out where did they get that from?
No, it's just something they put it in the paper, like what's going on now. They put stuff out there, and it's for the people, so the people gonna believe what they say.
You ought to be able to sue them for that, though, man. That's defamation of character. You ought to be able to sue them for that. The paper, whoever, the police, and whoever, all these folks. I mean, when this is over, you need to really start thinking about looking at a lawsuit, right, and suing these folks, because this is ridiculous for them to defame you like that, as far as putting all that stuff out there. And we all know, I know, family know, people that friends know, people that know that you have nothing to do with no gang. Even back when I used to gang bang, you didn't bang. I did. I was banging, but you didn't. When I used to come down to Riverside, stuff like that, I would go and hang out with you and your friends and stuff, but they weren't bangers. Some of them probably, you knew some of them, but wasn't caught up in that lifestyle. Yeah. So I don't even know how you would ever be identified as that. And so you probably need to look into that as far as trying to sue them and everything. So how's your family and everybody doing? How your son Ed doing that's still locked up right now? You said he's been gone for about a year, right?
Oh, he's fine. I talked to him yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And my family's doing, my wife, everybody's doing fine.
Doing pretty good. And so how about yourself? Because one of the things I know I was concerned about when I was talking with your wife, Sharice, is that when you was locked up, you're worried about you losing your job. And that's the other thing people don't think about. Like when you get these trumped up charges against you, what also end up happening is it messes up your life, your family, and everything else. So how did that go? 'Cause I know you're saying you're geared to go to work.
It messed up a lot, but my wife was doing a lot of stuff to keep stuff going for me. So when I got out, I was able to catch back up to it.
Okay.
And then with my job, I was able to get my job right back.
Amen. Amen. So
good.
So that's what you're doing right now, Steve. You got your old job back.
Yeah, I got to go work tonight.
That's good.
I got. Matter of fact, they just called me. Told me I had to be there on site. Look, it's crazy. I got to go to Orange County and pick up the truck and come back to Riverside. I'm working on the freeway. We do freeway work. We do traffic control, but I got to come back out here. But I don't have to be there until 7 tonight.
Okay.
They changed it.
Okay. Well, that's cool, man. And I'm glad that you got your job back. God is good. You know, God is a blessing. I know
Yes.
I talked to your mom.
God is real good.
Talked to your mom and Bobby a couple of times because we were trying to get a lawyer and things like that. And I know that she was under a lot of stress, you know, and we just don't need that. But that's what happens, especially to black families, right? You know, and just imagine there's numerous hundreds and thousands of families right here in California and in Southern California, we want to limit it there, that's going through these types of processes, man, and we don't have the support and help that we really need because, you know, when you're really trying to reach out to a lawyer and get a good lawyer, they all want all this money. And when you're not rich, you know, and don't have that kind of money to pay lawyers, then you're kind of stuck. And then with COVID-19 and everything on the lockdown, it made it way more difficult. And so, and it's almost like they don't care about people. You know, you're stuck in there. You can you have a death sentence because you're in there. You mess around and get coronavirus. You can get sick or die. It can damage you for good. And so on, and it seems like they don't even care about that. So they got a lot of people charged with bogus and trumped up charges sitting up in these jails like yourself, and they can release these folks and let these folks go. They really need to drop these charges, and I hope that eventually they're going to drop these charges. So when you're looking to go to court again?
I go in January.
In January, and so we're hoping that they're going to drop these charges.
What they did is they separated a couple of us from my son's case, so they go back in December, so we're separated from them now.
Okay, but at first they had all you, they bunched all you guys together, right, and try to make it seem like
they had us all going to court together.
It was a big gang conspiracy.
That's what they want. He wanted to make it look like they made it look like a big gang because they arrested everybody from that don't even have nothing to do with anybody, just from all over. If somebody just talked to somebody on the phone, they went and arrested them to make it look like a big gang.
Man.
Which out there where they are, hey, there's probably like 2 people, 3 people in their gang. They made it look like they try to make it look like a big gang. And then another thing, I was talking to my nephew. I guess they had my phone tapped there. I was talking to my nephew, and every other word with the paper written, and every word I was saying "cuz" to my nephew. Why would I say "cuz" to my nephew?
Right. But that's what they were saying. You were saying.
That was saying to him. That was just something they say at the end. Nobody never talked about anything in any of the incidents, but at the end, his expert opinion, we were talking about a murder. Mm-hmm. So everything, well, I'm in jail for his expert opinion. Right.
Man,
that's yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
I mean, that don't make no sense. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So anything else you want to say or share?
No, I'm fine. I'm glad this happened, though. I never had this until now.
Yeah, and you know, go ahead.
No, I said I'll be willing to come back again and talk about it if you get somebody else who needs to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely, and for sure want to follow up with Ed. When we're talking about Ed, we're talking about his son Ed, who they actually charged for murder, and he's sitting in jail right now. That's my little cousin. Yes. And you know, we want to support him and help him in the process of what he's going through. So he can't get into details on that, but that's what they try to charge him with. They try to give him aiding and abetting after the fact because his son called him, right? And you know, and so like it's so crazy these days the way they do things. You know, and like you said, they had his how long when the murder happened? How long was Lil Ed out before they arrested him?
I think he was out from say September to like November, or like the end of October to like November.
So they were investigating, and so some kind of way they got a warrant where they put a tap on your phone, which was illegal for them to do, And so that
So
also
do.
you got to look into that, man. That's also something that you
I
need to sue these
I read
folks
the
for.
law that it's all the way illegal. I just don't have no good lawyer.
Yeah, yeah. You mean illegal? It's all the way illegal, right?
It's all the way illegal.
Yeah,
Yes, all the
yeah,
way illegal. I just don't have a good lawyer.
yeah. And we got to
Right
work
now,
on.
right now I don't. You know, hey, hopefully something might happen.
Yeah, and look, and we can look around. There's lawyers out there that will take it on pro bono, right? You know, especially if if they
Right.
know they can sue and sue the city, sue the county jail, and sue the because the
Mm-hmm.
city is tied into who was investigating, was the sheriffs or the police?
Department.
Sue the police
Sorry,
department.
police.
Yeah, sue the police department.
It wasn't the sheriff. It was Riverside Police.
Yeah,
The sheriff was well, it was the county jail, but it was
yeah.
Riverside Police that did all this.
So it's the city then that you have to sue, and a lot of
City
times
of Riverside, yes.
what they try to get is immunity, right? But there's ways to
Right.
get around that to keep them from getting immunity, and that's one of the things, one of the laws that we're just trying to pass is the so that cops can't get immunity, so that now they get charged, but that we can sue them, right? Because they do a lot of crooked stuff
believe that.
along with prosecutors, and they need to take immunity away from prosecutors too, because prosecutors are in cahoots with them with a lot of stuff that they do, and a lot of these charges that they do. And so you just as you all see with my cousin Russell here is that how they actually they conspire together. They couldn't bring all that into court, right? As far as your bail and everything, those other charges, unless prosecutors did it and went along with it, right? So they all in cahoots together.
There's the prosecutors.
Yeah, so they need to take this immunity away from prosecutors too, especially when they're reckless, negligent, or when it's a deliberate intent, right, to trump up charges on people. And they do that all the time. They look in their books and see every little thing that they could charge you with, rather than charge you with for what you're supposed to be charged with. We for sure, we got an election just passed, but one of the things we got to work on, and we did try to do some of that this time around, get better judges. Get judges that's going to be just, that's going to be fair, that's going to be neutral, and that's going to make sure that they understand the racial biases that are taking place in this system, justice system, so that they can challenge those things, like when they bringing up stuff like that they brought up against you, right? And so it's kind of
Right.
crazy,
A cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sean, like another thing I just found out too
Mm-hmm.
is like when you go into court, or like you go to arraignment and you go into court, the judge cannot see your case or see what you're in there for, or see what they got against you, or see your record until you go to preliminary hearing. So I think that's real unfair too.
Wow, and preliminary might be a couple of months down the road.
It might be years down the road. It might be like a couple of years. Like right now, they was trying to step. It was one person that's involved with my cousin said he's tired and he want to go to preliminary right away. They had to do it. They couldn't stop it.
Oh wow! So did
Sometimes preliminary hearing be 2 or 3 years down the road.
Man.
And they keep postponing. District attorney, they come up with all kind of stuff. The police can't make it. Their witness can't make it. All kind of stuff to make you have to postpone it.
Wow. And in the process of time, you're stuck. So how did you get before the judge and get the was it like a bail hearing?
I did the bail hearing way before that, and that's when I did the strikes. But I got in front of the judge because I put a thing in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I went like pro put a thing in myself, so they seen it, and they told me, the district attorney can see everything you put in. I said I want him to see it. So then after that, then my lawyer put something in after all that.
Wow.
She put something in on her own. But other than that, I probably would have still been in there right now if I would have done that.
Right. Yeah, because I remember when I was talking.
She didn't help me at all. Huh?
Yeah. When I was talking with your mom, that's what she was. She was upset with the lawyer too. She felt the lawyer wasn't doing anything, and she said that she had talked to you, and you was upset and wanted something to be done. And that's what we get stuck with, right? We get stuck with incompetent lawyers, or lawyers might be good, but they just don't care, right? They just don't care and bog down with cases and things like that.
They got a lot that are real good, and they got some that they're living off the money. So the more cases they can plead out, the faster their money come in.
I got you, because they don't get paid until after they get. Wow, that's crazy. Dan, that's real quick.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff we have to deal with this system, So most definitely continue to pray for little Ed, and what he's caught up in. I hate to see him with so young, and you see so many young black men getting caught up, in this criminal justice system. That's why we try to talk to them. Say you got to watch the people you hang around, watch the places you go, watch the things you get involved in, because it's so easy to get tripped up and you're gone forever, right? You're gone for good. And, and the way things were looking, man, I was like, man, you feel almost like handicapped, like there's nothing you can do. Even when I was talking to your mom, talking to your wife, and looking at your case and stuff, like, man, they just gonna roll him right away with Ed. You know, he ain't done nothing. If they convict Ed, it's like, and he ain't done nothing. They treating him like he put the gun in his hand or something, like, you know, or took the gun and hit it for him.
It's like, hey, listen, it's like they got him charged with a murder, right?
Yeah.
Murder carries 25 years of life. They had me charged with aiding and abetting after the fact.
Right.
But they threw the strikes on me. You know, I could have been in jail for 25 years of life for aiding and abetting after the fact, and I ain't do nothing.
Yeah, and that's crazy. You see how, and that's scary, crazy. Man. That's scary. You know, to even think about that. To like, if one of my, now you gotta like be careful. You know, just from the experience that I see with yours, your son or a family member or even a friend, somebody you know call you. You don't know what they are caught up in or what have you. And they say, hey, can you go pick me up? Oh yeah, where you at? And you go pick them up. I'm just using an example. And you go pick them up, and they probably killed somebody, whatever, right? But I don't know that. I'm just going to pick them up and help them, right? To get wherever they need to get. And they don't tell me anything or anything whatsoever. But then I can be charged with that because they say, oh, you picked him up. That's aiding and abetting and so on. And they need to do something about that, you know, especially when you don't know. And a lot of times people don't even understand the laws, right? They don't understand the laws as far as what aiding and abetting is all about and things like that. So it's real crazy. And, you know, so on the other side, we got to be careful, you know, what we do because they're looking at the charges with anything that they can. And this is one of those examples of you as an example of how easy it is. You know, you 30, what was it, 25 years or whatever since 95 when you got out of prison. So that's like 20 years, 25 years, man. 25 years, 24, 25 years, not getting in any trouble, working, married, got family, doing well, and so on, not on drugs and all this other kind of stuff. And here, they all of a sudden they charging you with something like, wow, I can't. But I know when you're sitting in jail, what was your thoughts, man? I mean, how are you feeling? And how are you thinking and feeling? Because we think it and we feel it.
Well, in jail, I was, you know, okay, besides wanting to be out, I was feeling like I got done wrong. And I got done wrong on a lie. And I got done wrong on the cahoots between the Riverside Police Department and the district attorney. The district attorney that filed everything against me was not the district attorney that dropped everything against me.
Oh, for real? So it was the district attorney that actually dropped some stuff.
It was the district attorney when he seen my case, he seen I shouldn't have never been in jail.
Wow. You mean the prosecutor?
For as long as I was.
The prosecutor, one of the prosecutors, the first prosecutor wanted.
Yeah, it was a new prosecutor came on. Yeah.
And so he was simple-minded or fair-minded, I should say, in front of perspective, looking at your case.
Yeah, because he didn't protest it when she put in to drop my strikes. He didn't really basically protest against it because I was in there for basically nothing, man. I had nothing to do with the crime.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm wondering if we weren't under COVID-19, would they still have done that? You know, sometimes they do stuff because they're trying to get people out of there.
If we weren't under COVID-19, Sean, Pastor, I probably would have been out way before when I got. I probably would have been out like 3 months before when I got out now.
Could you been able to get before the judge sooner? And
way sooner. Yes.
Okay. Well, if there any final thoughts to anybody out there, because we're gonna go ahead and close it out. Just want to hear some final words from you. Go ahead. You done?
No, I said we can. Yes, I'm done. I just hope everybody listens to the story. And there's more people that's in jail that's going through the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank you, Russell, for coming on Slow Motion with Bishop Bowser. Want to thank all those that's viewing, all those that are going to be listening to the podcast. This is just a tip of the iceberg of what goes on in our criminal justice system. And, you know, like Ed, you know, he's my first cousin. His dad and my mom are brothers and sisters. Both from the past and going to be with the Lord. But in our family, we see a lot of this. Just within our family, as far as getting caught up in the criminal justice system and so on. You know, we got family members going from murder on down. So we've seen how this system is and how it impacts our families and everything else. You know, I still got a sister and nephews that are in prison and things like that. So this system is brutal, right? Because Sharon, my sister, she's in prison right now for stealing some candy or whatever she was stealing in the store. It was real minor, but she bit the security guard, whoever it was, when they tried to stop her. So that moved from a small misdemeanor to a felony, gave her 13 years in prison. And so she's struggling with the COVID-19 too, as far as trying not to get it. Just talked to her the other day. She called every week, but she's looking maybe a couple of weeks to go out into a halfway house or within a month or so. So we're hoping that happened, that she'd be able to do that and get out of that system up there, because it's no control of that when you deal with the COVID and all the other things. So we got to continue to pay attention to the laws, to fight to change these laws, right? To hold police accountable, to hold prosecutors accountable, to hold the judges accountable, and yes, hold these lawyers, the public defenders accountable too, right? And we got to stop all this pleading out, because what they do is they hold you in jail forever and make you make a plea deal. So we got to we got to have a system set up where they're not just housing all our black people like they did in slavery and have you in chains and bars until you make a deal and you get out of it. So we're going into a new year. The Lord should tarry and Lord allow, where some more laws, where the legislature's going to start writing laws and so on. And we got to put pressure on them to pass the right kind of laws so that we can make sure that these type of things, that what happened to Russell, and like he said, all the other people that are in there, don't happen to them also. So thank you, Russ. But I want you to stay on, Russ. We're going to sign off on Facebook Live, and we're going to sign off on Slow Motion with Bishop Bowser. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing, and God bless you until the next time.